Obosia, Secretary NUJ, River State, Dr. Sarah Joe, University Orator and Associate Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media, River State University, Port Harcourt, Dr. Ibiere Koki, Ignatius Aju University of Education, Rumolomini, Port Harcourt. Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date, Tuesday, 10th March 2026. Venue, Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, adjacent Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time, 10 a.m. For more information, please call Kainde Paul Obofadi, 081-063-41777 or Samuel Ajinwo at 090-454-00744. Signed, Management.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister elected president.
What are access to our money?
I've always said there are two sets of people, the oppressors and the oppressed, and in between are the cowards and the hypocrites.
Good morning and welcome to Open Air. Open Air is the network's flagship political platform through which trending political news, events, and stories are discussed with stakeholders. Through this conversation, ATN uses political talks about specific issues, party, system, and actor to explore hope and engender positive impact to the society. Today, we'll be looking at these stories. In River State, Governor Fubara appoints new SSG, Chief of Staff. Abia State, APC PDP chieftains defects, back Oti for 2027. In security, Nigeria now ripe for state police, and this is coming from the federal government. Meanwhile, in politics, stop constant lamentation against electoral acts, and this is coming from the presidency. 2027 elections, INEC announces new dates. Edo shooting, APC blasts ADC over claims, calls for probe. Again in politics, APGA begins nationwide e-membership registration starting March 1st. Atiku Obi Amechi Mark Galadima rejects electoral law. Bode George warns APC INEC against electoral malpractice. We are open for sponsorship of the program, advert placements, news events coverage, and commercials. Watch us live on our website www.atlanticnetwork.tv on Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Evo TV platform, Niger TV, Ifastec TV platform. You can also connect with us on our ATN socials by subscribing, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X, Atlantic TV Next. We're going for a short commercial break. When I return, I will introduce my guests for today. Joining us this morning is none other than Mr. Ugochukwu Ifeanyichukwu. He is a political analyst. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Antonia. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
It's really a pleasure to be, seated on the visual. You have been my friend. You have been my anchor on your sister radio station, and I congratulate you. Is a merited promotion and elevation.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, Nigerians. Good morning, Vice people. Good morning, all those who follow ATN on different social media platforms. It's another day in open air. I say happy Sunday to you all, and sit back as we unfold River State and Nigeria as usual.
Yes, as we unfold River State and Nigeria as usual. All right, let's get into today's stories. River State Governor Siminalayi Fubara has named a new secretary to the state government and a new chief of staff at the Government House, Port Harcourt. According to a statement issued on Thursday, the governor appointed Dagogo Bukoma as the new SST and Mr. Sani Ewule as his new chief of staff. The appointments were contained in a special government announcement signed by the chief press secretary to the governor, Onwuka Nzeshi, and made available to journalists. According to the statement, the two appointments take immediate effect. No reason was, however, given for the removal of the former occupants of the offices. Mr. Ugochukwu, I mean, is Rivers politics, and in recent times we've seen the tension, that has played out in the dynamics between Governor Fubara and then the State House of Assembly as well, to the point where they were almost impeaching him until the president, in his wisdom, had to intervene. In all of these, we saw staunch supporters of the governor. Okay, some of them are obviously the former occupants, as they put it, of these positions. And one will ask, how will they feel with the recent actions of the governor, especially having stand beside him or behind him throughout his predicament since entering into office?
Antonia, this is politics, and what's happening in River State, unfortunately, is pure politics at play. And like I said, other states has moved on, with governance, delivering what they call in quotes, dividends of democracy, the one we beg for and the one they want to, give to us. But ordinarily, Nigerians shouldn't be begging for the dividends of democracy because we deserve it. It's from our common purse that we pay these people. And Nigeria, being a state where we practice constitutional and representative democracy, we shouldn't be talking about, when you come and dig a borehole or put a pole or two of solar system, we're going to applaud you. Because it's not your money. It should be, it should be leadership by the Constitution, what you are constitutionally mandated to do, and which you have taken the oath of office. But be that as it may, you find out that in River State, we are still playing politics. It is very, very unfortunate, and I'm not going to applaud either the city minister's camp nor the governor's camp for still talking about, swearing in or appointing an SSG. It should be, there are so many things we should have gone past. We shouldn't be hearing it. Because, to appoint an SSG and the chief of staff is the prerogative of the governor. Those names do not wait for assembly, a state of assembly clearance. It is one of the statutory appointments that the governor makes, even immediately he wins election, assuming he did not, get anybody within his political class to have designated for that position before his election. Immediately after the election, before swearing in, these are what they call the kitchen cabinets. So it's very, very unfortunate that in River State we should be talking, River State is in the news, Asabel, just for appointing SSG and sitting here to talk about it is really not what I, as an analyst, or most analysts in River State, or even the electorates in River State, the citizens, should be applauding the political actors. It is really uncharitable to us. It is really embarrassing and shameful to go like this issue happening, the political dispute in River State, has taken a lot of casualties, and those casualties has gotten to Edison here and Bernard, is it Danagogo, the former SSG, who did not spend up to 6 months. Because recall, he just came back with the governor after the emergency rule. Yeah. So what is the need? Is it that our politics here is politics of vendetta? That is what I see, Asabel. Politics, if you're not loyal 110%, you are no longer... Are we supposed to play politics with those offices?
But when you say vendetta, what exactly do you mean by vendetta? Because like you rightfully mentioned, the appointment to this position is at the prerogative of the governor. So
but I don't say we, I say now I, Site Diogo, could know that this particular appointment is not made by the governor. Because if it's by the governor, we would have done with this long time ago. Okay. Because I've not seen in a state where you begin to change. Those things are not elective offices. The offices you elect your own people, the people that you can vouch for, the people that can represent your interests even if you are not there. These are what they call the chief of staff, from where we borrowed our democracy, from the United States. The person that sees the governor of the president firsthand, prepares your duty role for the day and will be the last person. If peradventure the governor or the president goes in and didn't come out, the person answerable to the nation, his family, and his political associate is the chief of staff. But here, what do you say? So, if a chief of staff can be changed like you change your wrapper, I mean, this is no longer politics. It's rather an interest. I know that politics is an interest-driven game, but whose interest is paramount here? Is it the interest of the governor or the interest of the city minister? This is the question I'm asking. It is for the governor to choose what he does with his staff to hire and fire. But I know that a sensitive office as that of the SSG and the chief of staff is not what you toy with, unless when you find out that a grievous political betrayal, or maybe you begin to suspect that, because these are the people that can, that can do the governor and administration a very big harm. But in this case, we have seen that that or two offices have become the sacrificial item just to make sure that somebody somewhere massages his or her ego.
I mean, that's speculation, so let's not go there. I'm more interested. I mean, you cannot say with certainty that it is not the appointment of the governor.
I follow through
I cannot verify that.
This political quagmire, this political imbroglio in River State since October 2023 when it started.
All right, no problem. But can we look into, like you rightfully mentioned, this position, especially the chief of staff position, is a sensitive position.
Very.
That has to be given to somebody that the governor is comfortable with, trust, and what's not. Would you say that the statements of the governor in the inauguration of the SSG and then the chief of staff is contrary to this belief, because he had told them that he wants them to represent the needs of the Rivers people, right? Their needs should come first before any political agenda. That he is not going to tolerate nocturnal meetings that he is not aware of. They are not allowed to call for any meeting behind his back, and that whatever meetings that is being held should have been sanctioned by him. I mean, looking at how they are just starting their union, if I'm allowed to put it that way,
yes.
would you not say that this is not the tone that one
that
would
should-
use in
it should
addressing
herald such
his ally, that he's
yes.
supposed to work hand in hand with
that he knows
for
very
the
well.
people of the River State?
Asabel, your expose in form of a question has already answered I've already aligned with what I said. My speculations, let me say that my speculations or my allergy, has aligned with the question and the expose you have made. Because if you tell me Ugochukwu Site there, who has been a political pundit and a political watcher for a long time, and whose political predictions has come through, when Laurentia seated here after the reconciliation, and the governor came back after the 6 months emergency rule, call up my clip, and where I told Laurentia that he said, have peace been achieved? I said, I didn't see any peace, because I did not see Edison here with the governor. You see, a reconciliation should not favor one party. But what we saw was that somebody was overly favored, rightly or wrongly. Then the people that fought with the governor, the generals, the political generals that fought on the governor's side, were nowhere to be seen. We did not see this in here return with the governor. We did not see Sokari good boy Sokari. We did not see the de facto or the factional what do you call it, House Assembly Speaker in the person of Okojumbo. We did not see them. And that the first casualty was Danagogo, who was the then SSG, who started with the governor, who was even in the camp of the continuity and consolidation of the FCT minister that brought about the governor. So what we are saying is that when I didn't see those people, I queried the authenticity of that peace and reconciliation they say have been achieved. And today, Edison here has also been sacrificed on the altar of reconciliation. Reconciliation shouldn't be taking casualty from one particular angle. That's what I'm saying. If we are pulling together, let us pull together. We say this is politics. And Asabel, as far as I know as a political student, politics is a game of interest. And it's a friendly game. We are not dragging wife. We are not dragging our father's land. We are not dragging boundary community dispute. Then why must some people be sacrificed on the altar of reconciliation while the other people are still intact? Then, finally on this, Asabel, the governor, to me, is now being either self-centered, either being politically selfish, if I may use that word, to only think of his own benefits, leaving his generals behind. Nobody goes to war without his generals. And on this table of truth, have for the often time campaign that the governor does not carry his supporters along. And that has been one of his own doing. They don't know his political moves. The governor only goes for what benefits him. If the governor, in truth, is the person that appointed those people, he shouldn't make the kind of statement he made. Okay. Because he would have known that these people are with me 100% and 10 moving on. Because to me, it is my own view that he is not the creator of those people. That is why he has said, do not do anything without my consent. And if you do, he threatened to show them the exit door. And that is not the way of bringing somebody on board to kickstart an administration. I think that was wrong for the governor to, although I have seen the governor, I don't want to say we, I've seen the governor over time, make statements that are unguarded, that are not a true political statement, because politicians are sagacious, charismatic in their approach and in their choice of words, and they make statements not to hurt their political followers and those who believe in their ideology. But what we see in the governor is this. And again, when they put out the media handlers of the governor did not do a good job. When they put out those two names, there was no bio, because those people, I don't know them. the real people now, I don't know, I don't mean I should know them. Hence, they have not been in the corridors of politically exposed positions in Rivers State. We should have a bio of them being put out so that Rivers people will know them, know where they come from, know their constituency, know their senatorial district, know a little about their family background, know a little about what they have done, so that the Rivers people will not scrutinize them. But just mentioning names and giving us out there for us to go and be asking Gogo. I mean, it is one of the most unfortunate PR I have seen the Rivers State government do, and that is not good for the image of Rivers government. I know they don't have Commissioner of Information, they don't have, but we have a commissioner, a PAMSEC, and the media team of the governor. They should have done more. But what my take here is that the governor and those who are around him coming out to give Rivers people SSG and the chief of staff, it is one of the most miscalculated political moves he has made. He would have done it quietly in the chamber without letting us know, because it is not funny again, as Abel.
All right, thank you, Mr. Ikuchiku. Let's move on quickly. Some members of the All Progressives Congress and the People's Democratic Party in Ukwa East local government area of Abia State have defected to the Labour Party and unanimously endorsed Abia State Governor Alex Oti for a second term in office. The new LP members include the member representing Ukwa East State constituency, Honorable Louise Obianyi, former majority leader of the Abia State House of Assembly, Honorable Paul Taribo of the APC, former commissioner and former Ukwa East Transition Committee chairman, and former ASPM ISSGM Honorable Osi Nwamwo, and two-time commissioner for Women Affairs, Lady Chinedu Brown, among other political figures from the area. Welcoming them to the Labour Party in Ohanku community on Thursday, Oti thanked them for joining the party and appreciated their support and endorsement for his second term in office come 2027. Former Senate President Senator Adolphus Wabara, Louise Obianyi, Ozuma Nkem Abonta, Ambassador Oke Emuche, and Lady Chinedu Brown in their speeches said the entire Ukwa people were united in their decision, emphasizing that it was not a political party affair, but a collective resolution to support Oti, whom they said had performed creditably. Wabara moved a motion for the endorsement of the governor for a second term in office, which was seconded by Honorable Louise Obianyi, while the crowd affirmed unanimously. I mean, this is a surprise turn of events. Mr. Ugochukwu, did you see this coming, especially at a time where people are rather defecting to the APC? I mean, looking at how well or how the governor, Oti, is performing in that state, would you say that it has given this former APC and PDP members, you know, the liberty and then the confidence in him coming back for a second term? I mean, at the end of the day, it's not about the political party, but the will of the people.
Yes. You know, in Abia State, Oti as a governor should go and sleep. He shouldn't be worried. Let him deliver the dividends of democracy to the people. Because this is not a political game that you say that he's coming to prove anything. He has already proven himself. Because Oti, as I know, started building on nothing. If there were, just like Fubara came to River State, Wike has already laid a foundation where he can continue from. And there are visible things that Nyesom Wike administration did. But in Abia State, what did Theodoji do? What did Okezipazu do? So Oti started, that is why whatever he's doing is visible. Very visible to the blind and loud to the ear of the deaf, because there was nothing. They say you can stand something or nothing. Oti came just like if there is refuse dump somewhere when you're going out for work and you're coming back and it's no longer there, you know that something has happened. It has been evacuated. So what Oti is doing is enough to, you know, to campaign for him. That's why I pity those in APC, those that are forming team, coalition or opposition, the likes of T.A. Oji, who, as far as we are concerned, because I've seen the allegation leveled against Erufai of 400 and something billion, but in the graft, you know, misconduct and crime in Nigeria, T.A. Oji is still the highest, 500 and something billion that is hanging around his neck, you know, which he has not proven till today. But because he's in APC, his sins seems to have been forgiven, you know. So they are forming what they call a team. They say is they're coming together of Ojos Okalo, trying to float Benjamin Kalo, you know, to come and wrestle power from Oti. I say he's wasting his time, because what Oti is doing, having rebuilt, there was one bridge he commissioned. That bridge was over 60 years old, where they let a renowned evangelist lost his 2 children, Omobai. He rebuilt it with access routes. So the people who gathered to defect to Labour Party are doing that for their own good. It is not for the good of Oti. Whether you defected or not, Oti will still win. But I'm seeing it that some politicians now are using Oti to come to limelight, to grab the headlines. Look at the person you're mentioning, Chinedu Brown, 2-time commissioner for women affairs in the state under APC or PDP, as the case may be. Look at the likes of former Senate President Wabara, because PDP now is a dilapidated house. He's no longer here nor there. I thought he's the BOT chairman of the PDP Turaki faction, but they are no longer here nor there. So you find out that their names are being erased from the annals of history. They want something that will give them publicity, and they find that in OT. So what I have to say here is that those who are calling people to defect into Labour Party, recall that Labour Party do not have members. Labour Party was a movement where Nigerians came to voice out the thought force that accumulated from the fallout of NSAS. Immediately Nigerians saw an opening, which they see, okay, this might be a new era. They voted without party leaning or across party divide, because they want a desirable change. And that change has come. So whoever is defecting, trying to use the name of OT, is doing so for his own political gain. That's what I can say, because OT is already an institution. OT have not disappointed. Where they will be thinking that doing OT a favor is because if he is not performing, he's looking for where to draw strength in order to come back for 2027. But as it stands now, OT is performing. Those people who are moving motion and not moving motion is irrelevant to me. And what you might take out from the whole read of that particular event that took place, or that OT refused to be conferred a chieftaincy title, saying that those who are in public offices should not be allowed themselves to be given those accolades while they're still in service. It's after service, so that the people can can appraise what you have done and now appreciate you. But for him to do it is a no-no for him. That is a leader with an uncommon purpose for the good of the people. He promised a lot of those Ohanku areas to extend the power supply to them, and the metering. It is now in order to say that those meters are free. Houses are metered for free. Because a lot of us in Nigeria will waste power, energy, and all that. But when you are metered, you know that you cannot just call somebody on phone and allow your credit to be going. Even if you can't hear what the person is saying, you switch off and redial. But here, some people go out leaving their lights on. So what he's trying to do is that so that the power consumption will be minimized and effectively utilized. So those who are decamping using the name of OT, the one that they are doing now, Wampara, is he not anti-party? Because as far as I know, he's a member of PDP. Okay. Those who came from APC, that is a ruling party, and we have it on good authority that APC is now delaying their Congress in other state, thinking of winning OT. Okay, the question I ask is this: if OT decides to move, will they move with him into APC? This is a question they should be asking themselves. Okay. Whatever they want to do politically, let them, speak to Nigerians. Let them communicate what OT is doing to the larger populace of Nigeria, so that Nigerians will know that they are confessing with their mouth what PDP couldn't do in other states. Well, when Wampara was the senior president, what did he attract to his people? So using OT now as an alibi is what beats my imagination. Why he is a member of PDP? So if you want to gain the attention of Nigerians, let him begin to sponsor pages of newspaper, go to television, showcase what OT is doing. I think there I will begin to applaud him. But trying to gain cheap popularity by saying that they support APC and PDP, support OT or defect or are gathering, support for OT to win. OT is already there in 2020. Even without party, he will be there. Whatever they are doing is for their own political gain.
All right, let's move on quickly to our next story. Alhaji Mohammed Idris, Minister of Information and National Orientation, has declared that the federal government is committed to the establishment of state police once the necessary legal framework is secured. Idris spoke on Thursday in Abuja during a courtesy visit by the Center for Crisis Communication, led by Chris Olukolade, its chairman. He added that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appealed to the National Assembly to enact the required legislation to enable the reform. Idris said decentralized policing has become imperative in addressing Nigeria's evolving security challenges. He said strengthening internal security must go hand in hand with improving national communication systems, especially in the digital age. Mr. Gochiku, I mean, seeing our security landscape, especially here, before we used to think that there's relative peace in Nigeria, right? And maybe small skirmishes here and there.
Yes.
And then, okay, we've known over decades that, yes, when it comes to Boko Haram and insurgency in the northern parts. But now it seems like every day we are hearing either abduction, killing, or something. We hear like different sects of these terrorist groups that we can even name different ones. Before we used to know, oh, if an attack happens, okay, it's Boko Haram. It maybe is ISIS, maybe is Al Qaeda. But now we're having different sects coming out. It seems these terrorists have become bold in recent times, and then unfortunately for us, it's become a security challenge to the people. Is the president, is he right in calling for state policing? At least if we have state policing, we can be able to properly manage the security affairs of each state. Because I think one thing most security people like to agree on is the fact that nobody can understand the ethnical or community landscape better than the indigenes of those people. So if we have a police that the state has absolute control or more control over, then it will be able to meet the needs, the unique needs of each state, because the security problem of River State may quite differ from the security challenges of the northern states. So would you say this is actually a call in the right direction? And are we ready for state policing in Nigeria?
As about to start from your last drop of the question, we are not ready. Why I say we are not ready is that you're talking about insecurity. Insecurity in Nigeria first started because of the failure of the government. For government to take decisive action, because before a tree sprouts, before a tree grows, it starts from sprouting. you know. And when a seed sprouts, you know the particular seed, whether it's needed, it will be allowed to grow, or you need to operate it firsthand. But when you allow it to grow, it started growing, maturing, and as it's maturing, its roots is becoming so matured. It will be a time you need a bulldozer, you know, you need experts to come and take it out. So that is why I say the insecurity in Nigeria is as a result of leadership failure. As a result of the government not having the political will. Everybody in Nigeria wants to win election. And they want to win election, we now allow the non-state actors, those we use in rigging elections. Just like I give you a quick example, in Rivers State, as they move around and see the pool and the army of young men, that the government should have built factories, you know, revive the moribund and the alien factories. The one I had in Rivers State, that if you go to Transamade, it's where you have industrial area. All of them are in comatose. But the job they provide for them is doing arbor and talks, pursuing market women, all the routes. It seems that since OT was able to eradicate thuggery in Abia State, Aba especially, they have moved on to River State. So our routes are thugglarized by thugs, you know. And those thugs, why they leave them there is these are the people they use in winning election. You know, when you want to win election in Nigeria, is the amount of violence you can cause and the pool of money you have to throw around. That's what we see election in Nigeria. So if they take them out, it is not Ugochukwu seated here responsibly that they will call to go and disrupt an election. So that is why I'm telling you that it is a failure on the government for the insecurity we are witnessing. And why it's festering, it has become monetized. When they are saying that Boko Haram, you recall the time of militancy in Rivers State, in the South region, it was not monetized. They were agitating for something. Agitation is different from, you know, somebody moving into crime for the sole purpose of making the pecuniary gain. I don't know if you understand. So what you're having, the offshoots of all these the fragmentation of all those sets and all those kidnappers. Don't forget that even when you call bandits, kidnappers are inside, armed robbers are not inside. So we sugarcoat their names. We don't call them the names we ought to call them, to shame, to name and shame. We are here having other countries gave names to Nigeria, those who are sponsoring it. What happened? Because of lack of political will, nobody named them. And tomorrow you might even be voting the person as a member of the House of Reps, or perhaps a senator. The person perhaps may be appointed an SSG, or is a chief of staff. What do you think will happen when such a person is in the cabinet? Recall what Jonathan said before he hesitated off it, that his government had been infiltrated by Boko Haram. How can you have a state council meeting, a security meeting immediately after even in the meeting, what you discuss behind closed doors will be out there? Who is leaking it? Who are they deceiving? So they are not ready. So if you grant, what do you call it? Maybe perhaps that is why governors are defecting to APC, so that the president will give them state police and they'll have more allocation, because they have allocation to fund the police. So maybe this is one of the things they might be using to lure these people into APC. You understand? For Mr. President to come from the governors that are moving into APC now, because Mr. President has said now,
because of the allocation for state police.
For state police, because they also who is questioning them because of the security votes.
I want us to make
there will be more money voted. Once you create such an apparatus, you must vote money for their function and sustenance and sustainability. So even the money they are giving them for security vote, you are asking about why insecurity is festering. Asabe. These people are getting security vote. What are they doing with it? So when you said in your question that people know their terrain. This is what happened in Borno State. We have the joint task force, the military, other security agencies, and civilian JTF. My dear, the civilian JTF that joined the military in Borno, have they been able to eradicate Boko Haram? The OSPAC we have here in River State, Alpha. We said OSPAC, they are using it now to settle her husband and wife and boyfriend and girlfriend and collecting money. Non-state actors, again, that are not captured in the constitution, not even an act, not even a River State parliamentary act that establishes them. Why are they doing those things, Asabel, is that the government want to perpetuate themselves in power. They don't want people that will question them or somebody that will put some sand in their gare. Once you are there acting as one lord, they respect you. If you have not caused violence in Nigeria, nobody recognizes you. But immediately you start causing problems somewhere, they will call you, this boy, you can make it, what are your terms and conditions? You now spell it out. The government will now be your sponsor.
Okay.
The government will now call you for settlement. But responsible citizens who have gone through school, who are doing due diligence in different ministries and facets of life, even SMEs are not giving money in Nigeria. People that are retired, pensioners are not paid. But those monies are thrown around to non-state actors. You know how much Nigeria is paying for ransom when they say negotiation. Because when you tell me that somebody is rescued, I have what somebody needs, and the person is coming by force to take it. Asabel, what do? Something I have spent a lot of resources to go and get. A Boko Haram or ISWAP comes to adopt. They have spent, hours planning. They have spent their resources. They have spent all and when they come to adopt, they carry those children, 250 something people, like chicken. Even when you carry chicks, it makes noise when you're going. They carry it, spend hours, carry them into wherever. No, they're deceiving us now. They're deceiving us in Nigeria. You carry them from God knows where, or you touch them, they will disappear and follow you. Okay. Then the government will now know where they are to go and negotiate. Or say we have rescued them. When you rescue, there will be no casualty of the 200 among the 250 something people. There will be no casualty on the camp of the doctor. There will be no casualty on the side of the Nigerian military or police perhaps. And you are telling us to agree. I don't know, Antonia. Those people think we are gullible, that Nigerians don't know what is happening. You know that in some ungoverned spaces, as they call it in the northern part of Nigeria, people are mining illegally. Who are the beneficiaries? Those governors in those states, like Zamfara and the Californium in Borno State, who are the beneficiaries? Are those monies shared in fact? Is it only oil that is 1 and something, 80 something, 60 something dollar per barrel? That is what Nigeria is using. But what do you call it? A kilo, or is it what is the one that is the most minute of, what do you call it, Californium, is sold at $28,000. Californium. Who are those who are benefiting from those resources God gave us? Who are those that are benefiting from gold? Is Nigeria accounting for gold and sharing the money as our collective purse? Let them stop deceiving us. State police will not work. If civilian JTF didn't work, and the other states that have created their local vigilantes and whatever did not work, and which weapon are you going to give these people? You see the sophisticated weapons that Boko Haram and this swap comes with. The late Buhari will tell you, is the fallout of the fall of Gaddafi, that those weapons they are using are United Nations weapon, using in supporting those people. At the end of the day, Asabel, which kind of weaponry is the Nigeria? Hence, the Nigerian military and police are not carrying weapons that are equal to the ones Boko Haram are carrying. Is it the state?
All right.
Is it Yobe State? Let's say, Asabel, please. Is it Yobe State or Gombe that will provide the kind of weaponry that will match those people? Do you know that the Nigerian police have told the Catholic Church or Christians perhaps in Cross River State to go and hire private security, what are the taxpayers' money for? What are the taxpayers' money to secure us and property, which is the primary duty of any government? If a government have failed in the first line of charge, protection of lives and property, then the government should throw in the towel and let us know that we are governmentless. Then is Mr. President trying to use this state police to push away the responsibility of securing Nigerians to the governors? So that tomorrow the president will not ask you, his media men, what do you call him, Rena Mokri and Aldos Okalo and Bayo Lanuga will not tell Nigerians to go and meet your governors. That is, I'm seeing a shift of responsibility. Because when we are practicing a federalism is that the armed forces and the security and foreign policy of the country is in the purview of the federal government. Are they trying to push it out? They have not, as a federal, tackled those commander-in-chief so that the governor will now be the commander of police affairs in his state. Is that the thing they want to create? Asabel, I'm very angry in the spirit, and Nigerians should reject this. Nigerians should reject it in all its ramification and the entirety.
All right. I mean, some will say that having additional security is a step in the right direction, but I guess Mr. Okochukwu says we are not ready for that due to the political tension here in Nigeria.
They use it to win election now. They use it now. The governor will use it as a fragmentation or harness of their political parties. Because that's the people, you saw what happened in AFCT, where even federal police is coming to disperse people who are legitimately lined up to cast their votes in Nigeria. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about in this country? About what is going on. If we say it like Dino Melawi will say, if you say the truth, you die. If you keep quiet, you say die. So we say the truth and we die. Because someday, nobody will escape this planet Earth alive.
Okay.
Having been born, you will only escape this planet Earth 6 feet down the ground.
Okay.
So let us tell the government the truth.
All right, let's tell the government the truth. Moving on, presidency has called on the opposition political parties in Nigeria to desist from the constant lamentation on the Electoral Act and the All Progressives Congress APC-led federal government. This is contained in a statement by the Special Advisor to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, in Abuja on Thursday. The presidency said that some notable opposition figures led by the ADC and NNPP gathered in Abuja and made reckless, spurious allegations against President Bola Tinubu and the APC-led federal government. It stated that the opposition, especially the African Democratic Congress, has turned irresponsible political statements into an art form to attract cheap headlines and mislead the public. The presidency maintained that the opposition has waged a war of disinformation against the National Assembly and the APC-led federal government. It further pointed out that the opposition has made false allegations in a bid to impose their will on Nigerians and the legislature, the arm of government constitutionally empowered to make laws for the country's good governance. They're saying the presidency has come out to, against the opposition. I do understand that this administration is APC-led,
yes.
So therefore there could be or there is a political undertone. But in Nigeria, people have been asking that sometimes we want to see governance and governance instead of politics. I know the elections are quite close, especially this time where we've been advocating for electoral reform, and then it's happened. As far as I'm concerned, it has happened.
No, it has happened.
Yes.
There was legislation, there was a public hearing.
And then the president has assent to
yes.
it and all that, so it has happened. So the question is, why is the opposition still clamoring for another reform, especially noting the time frame? Some are saying that it is because we call for amendments, right? But it's like we were not given what we wanted, but instead it's been tweaked in favor of this administration. The APC can boldly, some political analysts have boldly stated that the APC have had time to be able to mobilize itself ahead of the 2027 general elections. They've been able to attract opponents into the political party. From different governors have defected into the APC, right? So they've already made the groundwork. Now, these parties that are left are now trying to find their footing, trying to re-elect some of their leaders and what's not before campaign period. Now, in the new amendments, the opposition have about 6 months for, not just opposition, all parties involved have 6 months left for campaigning. And they feel
for congresses.
Yeah, for campaigning congresses and whatever they need to put themselves together before the general elections. And now they are saying that it's not enough because the previous amendment stated 1 year. Now you've given them 6 months. INEC is not to come into its allocation until 6 months into the elections. All of these things, the opposition have raised concerns over. Would you say it's justifiable? And even if they want to go into it or look into it, do we even still have enough time to amend what they're asking for ahead of the 2027 general elections?
Antonia, the opposition parties in Nigeria got what they bargained for.
They got what they bargained for?
Yes, because as far as I'm concerned, there is no opposition in Nigeria. There is no opposition party in Nigeria because we lack political ideology. We lack what political parties do is the agenda of the person who is the president or the governor. The party manifestos are thrown to the trash. But in other Senate climes where we have been and where we watch their democracy thrive, no political party or no president is bigger than the manifesto of the party. The manifesto of the party is the collective will and the ideology of the political party embedded in writing. What they say, they will tell the people, this is what our party will do. This is how we better your lot. And when you don't do that, the people hold you accountable. But in Nigeria, nobody talks about party manifesto. Nobody even talks about the ideology of the political parties. We are Democrats, we are progressive governors, we are progressive, this and that. Then when you look critically into what they call progressiveness, you see nothing. It lacks the depth and the essence of what progress means. It lacks the essence of what being a Democrat means. So what happened in 2023 was the bad wagon of Obi. Those people who won elections under Labour Party, where are they now? Because they don't know what politics is all about. Nigerian citizens are so docile. Nigeria, our leaders are very lucky that Nigeria is Nigerians are docile to a fault. You can't try this in any other country and you sit there as your leader. Who are you leading? So the opposition, recall I sat with you sometime. We are talking about this, the democracy. I said that I was happy for the mixture and the number of political parties that won the seats in the National Assembly, that there will be a kind of, politicking and politics we have not seen in Nigeria because of the opposition won some seats. APC was not, they don't have the majority. When the opposition come together, they could, threaten the majority of APC. But what happened? Immediately they collected the 160 million SUV. All of them capitulated. So why are you crying foul now? Because as far as I know, what do you call it? Democracy is the rule of the majority. Whereas the minority will be allowed to voice out. But whether your voice is being heard is when the vote, the whatever you're talking about is put to vote. And when it's voted for, the majority carries it. It is not bias. It is not sentiment. It is not your village people. Like they say in Nigeria, this is politics. And politics has its tenets and rules. There are rules of the engagement and the game. So if the opposition know that they want to rescue Nigerians, they won't have capitulated.
Okay.
You know, what we play here is politics of infrastructure, politics of appetite. If a man have not controlled his or her appetite, there is nothing the person can achieve in life. Because when a man allows his appetite to control him, he can even enter a ditch where he's picking corn. He don't know that there is a danger lurking around. But if they have entered there with the mandate the people gave them, meaning that they were neophytes, they didn't have political relevance, and the Nigerian people made sure APC didn't rig the election overly. People stood their ground. That's how the likes of Oti came. You were here when we had that, although I know the guy, Matthew, I know Matthew in Southern Kaduna, and they say he's an Okada man. He's not an Okada rider. That guy is a Bachelor of Philosophy holder. No, I understand. He's not an Okada rider. The only thing is that is what he uses after school to fend for his family. That they were saying Okada person won election. You look at an election that the guy is now in APC, trying to secure what? But when you were not in, the people voted you. So why are you afraid? The APC now that have gathered all the governors, why didn't they give Nigerians the real-time voting? Let the network disappoint us.
Right.
Let them make it mandatory that where the network fails, that election will be reconducted. After all, it is in Nigeria we hear supplementary election. If they want to do the amagamago, like the one they did in Imo State, during Rocha Sokorocha, the one they did during Ganduje in Kano State, did INEC not manufacture supplementary election where they now did the abracadabra and the Ganduje re-emerged?
All right.
You understand? So why not say what made Labour Party presidential candidate and other political parties lose their cases in court was that what do you call it, electoral transmission was not given a legal backing. And this one, we say give it a legal backing, let it be the first charge in line. Let the form E8A be a backup and not ahead. That is what they're talking about. So today, Asabel, what I'm saying here is that the opposition should blame themselves and the APC should continue to enjoy the euphoria as it lasts. But for talking about lamentation, in a democracy, the opposition is always there to counter whatever, whether it will fly or not, but that is their job, and what is that they are doing. So the federal government should not gag them, and should not mock them. What they are doing is they are playing the role of opposition.
All right. Speaking of which, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has announced a first timetable for the 2027 general elections, rescheduling the presidential and National Assembly polls to January 16, 2027. According to the Commission, elections for governorship positions and state houses of assembly will now take place on February 6, 2027. Previously, INEC had slated the presidential and National Assembly elections for February 20, 2027, while governorship and state assembly contests were to be conducted on March 6, 2027. However, the Commission reviewed the dates following the repeal of the Electoral Act 2022 and the signing into law of the new Electoral Act of 2026. Mr. Kochiku,
yes.
Previously, the previous date, I quite recall that Atiku had come and said that it was insensitive because it's going to be the period of Ramadan, and it will not be suitable for Muslim beliefs or Muslim believers and whatnot. But some had also stated that, some Christians who also worship on Saturdays have been condemning Saturday elections, saying that it also goes against their religious beliefs because it's Sabbath, right? It's meant to be kept holy and what's not. Now, with the new date, INEC is saying that due to the repeal of the former, Electoral Act and what's not, this date is more conducive. Others have also come out to say that it's actually quite soon. If you're going to use the Electoral Act amendment as a case, then why don't you shift it to a bit further down, maybe from March, whenever.
Towards the end of March to April.
Exactly, because to give the people more time to, you know, prepare themselves ahead of the election. And then there are also those of the opinion that, look, whether it's done in January or December, there will be somebody or some group of people who will not be happy about the date. I mean, it's politics, right? So we'll have different opinions. What do you have to say concerning the new date?
I want to commend you for your for being apt and also being a student of history, because it's not everybody what you stated about the other Christian religious groups that be calling for the shift on the day of conducting elections on Saturdays, and they have gone through the courts.
Yeah.
And their views and the opinions we are not giving any attention. But immediately some sections of the religion in Nigeria cried out. They were given listening ear. That goes to show you that Nigeria is a country where, you know, Napoleon said that animals are equal, but there are some are more equal than others. So that's a clear case, because if only this year the Muslims since 1999, that now this will affect the Muslim calendar, and it has not been happening that way, which even next election cycle it might not happen that way, and you are now repealing the law just to make sure you please or appease a section of the country, while neglecting the other. Which type of country are we running? That means that some people are more Nigerians than other people, and that is not healthy. It does not show unity in diversity as we talk about it, because assuming if it's the Christians that cried out, maybe because of the Easter period, do you think that the haste and the time and attention this was given, do you think it have gotten it?
I mean, I do not religious division. Like I rightfully also pointed out, I stated also that there's different undertone. There's a political angle, there is the religious angle, and then what's not. I mentioned different angles, and I even stated, or I even concluded saying that some are also of the opinion that whichever way or whichever day we fix the date, nobody will have somebody, or will have some part of factions that will come out to oppose it. But I don't want us to keep this as a religious angle.
And Antonia, you asked your question,
yeah,
which is good. Then I am at liberty to make my analysis.
Okay.
It is not your opinion. The opinion of ATN is my opinion. I'm making my own analysis. Okay. You are not going to tell me what is in my mind and what I will say. So I am saying that in this country since 1999, the Seventh-day Adventist Church, the Sabbatarians have been crying that they are being disenfranchised. Even in the new Electoral Act you're talking about, I'm talking about the haste and attention the National Assembly and the Presidency give the Muslim religion in order to have them, to accommodate them. We have other people been given that what is good for the goose is also good for the gander. Over time, when these people even went to court, did INEC or the National Assembly factor them into what they are doing? Look at now, the Electoral Act have been hastily, in my own view, have been hastily amended. What happened? Those who will be on essential duty that day, do you know that in Nigeria, the military and paramilitary organization don't vote? Those who are nurses and doctors, they don't vote. People they say are election monitors, and those on essential duty that day. Even you know that during Buhari time they have been talking about getting people in the prison, those who are not yet been convicted to vote. How did this Electoral Act 2026 capture them to become an act? So for you to know that there, like you rightly said, there is always a political undertone for whatever happens in Nigeria. They have their plans cut out. That is why I told you that the opposition got what they bargained. If Nigeria have a very strong opposition, and those who even went for the town hall meeting, the CSOs, those who call themselves civil society organizations, when they went for that meeting and interface with the House, who mentioned those gray areas? The only thing they're coming out to talk about is the flaws of the 2026 electoral law, which is already crying over spilt milk. But when we should have had that opportunity to bring out those things in the fore. Remember, immediately INEC brought out the title that they are going to continue with the 2022 Electoral Act timetable. The Muslims started, calling out that it will affect them. Atiku made a statement, and before you know it, they have been captured because everybody wants to win election. Tinubu wants to go for second tenure. You think that repealing that date is for your own interest? He's playing to the gallery. He's playing politics with a law that should concern every Nigerian Asabel. A law that have no face. A law, it should be for the interest. It must capture the interest of all parties. But here now we are seeing that a particular section or religious interest is what is being captured. So other people that have been disenfranchised all this while, remember that when they come now, they tell you that one vote counts. How many votes did Tambowa use to win his second tenure, to win the APC candidate when he ran from APC to PDP to contest for is it 2019 governorship election? It was not up to 200 or 300 votes. That was why Wike mocked him sometimes, say that how many votes are you using to rule as a governor? So what we are saying is that what is good for the goose will be good for the gander. One section of the country or a particular people should not be made to feel superior, while other people are made to feel less than Nigerians. Asabel.
All right, rightfully stated and noted. All Progressives Congress has rejected claims by the African Democratic Congress linking it to the recent shooting incident in Edo State, describing the accusations as baseless and reckless. In a statement on Thursday by its National Publicity Secretary, Felix Moka, APC called for a thorough investigation into the matter, urging law enforcement to scrutinize the ADC and its leaders as prime suspects while reaffirming its commitment to law, order and national security. According to news reports, gunshots rang out at an ADC event in Edo State, endangering former Governor John Oyegun, 2023 Peter Obi, the 2023 Labour Party governorship candidates, Olumide Akpata, and several others. In a statement released Wednesday, ADC National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi blamed the APC for the attack, claiming it exemplifies a troubling trend of political intimidation against opposition parties. The APC, however, denied any involvement, asserting that the incident was self-inflicted. The ruling party called the ADC's claim of acts as terrorism by the ruling APC. All right, we're going for a short commercial break. When I return, we will go into these details. All right, welcome back. Before the break, I was talking about the ADC incident in Edo State.
Yes.
This is quite trickery because APC have actually has pointed out another angle
push the blame to ADC.
I mean, we know this is politics, right? But okay, let's analyze this properly.
Yes.
Prior to this, the Edo State governor had warned that should Peter Obi come to that state, he wouldn't be able to guarantee his safety. Then others would have said that just a couple of, if to say maybe because if it does not have a political undertone, right? If it's not because of political differences, why would you say Peter Obi is not welcomed in Edo State.
Which is in Nigeria.
As a Nigerian who is, you know, vying for the highest office in Nigeria. That's one. If you're going to say, if it's going to attribute that to the fact that maybe the state security is not equipped enough to handle such VIP and its magnitude, one would have also asked that. The FCT minister was in those parts just a couple of days ago to commission some projects.
And his security was well guaranteed. His security was well guaranteed.
So what happened to the Labour Party candidates? That's one side. Another angle that the APC also rightfully pointed out is that the opposition, which is the ADC, might have orchestrated this because of the statement previously made, just to gain sympathy from the Nigerian public, and then also make it seem as if the APC has some involvement, because mind you, the state governor is now a member, you know, so it has its political undertone. And then we have some also stating that we have some factions, okay, who may not be happy with the ADC. Okay, they may have enemies everywhere. It doesn't have to be the APC themselves involved in this. Mr. Ugochukwu, what angle would you like to take this from in your own experience, and then with your wisdom, where would you rightfully point these allegations towards?
Asabel, I want to first of all you know, thank God. You know, of course, you know me, I don't really use God in politics because Nigerians has bastardized the usage of God's name. But I thank God for the safety and for sparing the life of P2B. So I want to say that God, in His infinite mercy, have you know, have done what he knows best how to do. Then on the flip side, we shouldn't be playing politics with the life of any Nigerian citizen at all. Just like what we talk about insecurity in Nigeria. Insecurity in Nigeria, you look at where the government is playing politics with the lives of Nigerians, you know, which is really, you know, disheartening. That a person of P2B and an elder statesman, John Odigi Oyegu, was even the founding father of APC, you know, that they were attacked. Even if it was by hook or crook, you know, even if it was a frame-up, the government ought to have acted and responded in a responsible manner, because the first line of charge of any government is the protection of lives and property.
Yeah.
And something
especially in a state.
Something happened in your state, and you now start throwing blame. That will show you how we have degenerated. That's why P2B didn't make so much comment. He said, Nigerians see where our democracy has gotten to. If we can now resort to, you know, we saw political assassination during Olusegun Obasanjo time. You are not here in Rivers State. A lot of heads ruled in Rivers State, you know, that even till today, the likes of the former Attorney General and the Minister of Justice of Nigeria, Bola Ige, nobody have accounted for him. Nobody have accounted for people like Harry Marshall and some of them from Rivers State here. These were political assassinations that went on today nobody's talking about it.
Under the carpet. Under the carpet.
So if this thing, where I'm taking my blame, as you have asked me in my own view, is to the Nigerian public. I remember, if P2B had died, the same way, that's what you and I will discuss it here, and it will go. It will trend on social media. Those who will use it to cash out, as you say in Nigeria, we do it and it will go. If a people are conquered when they allow evil to fester, any people that has allowed evil, that condones evil and wrongdoings, their people are finished. That is why in Nigeria, let the politicians and opposition not be thinking of Nigerians. So Nigerians will do nothing. Obedient are throwing out this public statement, this and that. I say nothing will happen. I was among the people that sat down and said that aerofiles of the world are one of the untouchables. What happened? His colleagues, are they not sleeping in their houses with their wives and children? that is what you are on your own. If peradventure not the security details of P2B, I know he don't have much security details, but I know that by now he will now understand why he must spend money on security. He must even employ, hence the Nigerian police has given Nigerians a blank check to go for private security personnel. P2B should fortify his, he should not say that the Nigerian state, nothing will happen. This, he will know that the Igbo people will say, when you see snake, they will say, go and get a clog and wait to see snake.
Okay.
Yeah? P2B have seen the head of snake. Now it is left for him to know that his own security and his life is within his hands. Because if P2B prevent anything happens to him, it will be the same way that we shouted Mohbad here. Is it not you and I, we are talking about Mohbad, they go from one protest to another, finish. People that died during Ensasenko. Nigerians are very, very, sorry to use that word, are very gullible. Because this is where Nigerians would have, by now, the type of protest and the type of upheaval that would have beset the APC Bola Tinubu government would have been unprecedented. Even in Edo State, what happened? Did they use march? Even the students, even the so-called obedient movement, or the village boys, did you see them march? So if we have died, he would have died for nothing. It will be better for one of my uncle who said he will collect 10 naira bribe and die. So that if they tell his children what killed their father, they say because he collected bribe, instead of him going to sleep and didn't wake up in the morning, and nobody can account what killed him. So P2B would have, his life would have gone as a sacrificial lamb for Nigeria. One comedian in Nigeria, by the name of Uche said that if it is for him to die for Nigeria to be good, it is better he'll be alive, let Nigeria be the way it is. Because he should be alive to see what is happening in Nigeria. So P2B, this is a warning to him. To know that, look at a magnitude of something that happened, that's about, the president have not issued, the presidency have not issued a statement. The governor of Edo State, the governor they call now, according to Kenneth Okonkwo, is that figure number impaired governor. Because even for him to pronounce GCFR was a problem. It was a problem for him. But there's somebody that is dishing out orders and threats to another person. So let us tell them the way it is. This impaired, figured governor in Nigeria is the one who would have died in his state for nothing. P2B should, the opposition should know that for you to join a masquerade, it is not a dance for small children. So they should beat APC to their own game.
Right.
Oyegu is there, Atiku is there, Amechi is there. They know how they formed APC. And PDP did not counter them. Let them match APC. Whether if they are only relying on the media, my day it will happen. And the media will carry it and say their papers. At the end of the day, nothing will happen. He who don't die, don't die.
All right. Hopefully it will not get to that. Former Deputy National Chairman of the People's Democratic Party, Chief Olabode George, has warned the All Progressives Congress and the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, against engaging in electoral malpractice ahead of the 2027 general elections. George issued the warning on Friday during the inauguration of the new PDP executives in Lagos State, alleging that the ruling party was pushing Nigerians to the brink by plotting to rig the 2027 polls. He cautioned INEC to exercise fairness and transparency, stressing that the commission lacks constitutional authority to impose leaders on political parties. George criticized the conduct of a recent election, describing it as shambolic and mismanaged. He alleged that security agencies disrupted voting at a polling unit in Abuja by firing tear gas and snatching ballot boxes. Assuring members of a renewed PDP, George said anti-democratic elements within the APC would not be allowed to undermine the opposition. So many shots has been fired by Bode George. So I think everybody took a shot from FCT
to INEC
to the presidency to the APC. Like everybody just like received their shot.
And the got his own jab too.
Like I said, the FCT received its own jab. But on a more serious note,
yes,
INEC is an independent body, okay? And then Amopitan, a lawyer who is well versed in Nigerian laws, the head or chairman of the INEC. One will say that, that alone should convince the Nigerians that, look, hopefully the INEC as an independent body is not or will not be influenced by any political party. Now, Bode George coming out to say that APC is rigging the elections. Considering the state of the PDP, others will also say that the PDP is not even in contention when it comes to opposition that the APC might face come, the 2027 general elections.
Yes.
They don't have any strong individuals that can, meet head to head or, foot by foot or whichever way with the APC. So would you then think, or would you then say that Bode George is just saying ahead of time that the elections is going to rig because they know or they believe or they feel that they might lose in the general elections? And we know in Nigeria, prior to now, when it comes to oppositional prominent parties, is the APC and the PDP, and maybe during the last elections we saw the force of the Labour Party as well.
Yes.
But now PDP is a shadow of itself. Labour Party, the candidates that was standing in for the Labour Party that the people rallied behind, is also not in the Labour Party. It's in the ADC. So looking at these factors, would the opposition just be trying to throw cheap shots at INEC, the APC, because they could not put their home in order ahead of 2027 general elections?
You see, Asabel, when we sit here, we educate the Nigerian populace who might not have the opportunity of having the kind of information that we have. It will be very germane for me to state that P2B is in the coalition. He has not left Labour Party.
Okay.
We have not had where P2B has resigned from Labour Party. A coalition, you can be in your house and be visiting your uncle. It doesn't mean that when you go there to spend weekend, that becomes your house.
But should they give him?
Yes.
Should they give him? Because he's vying for.
Coalition.
Yes.
You know that
they are still fighting for presidential tickets. Yes.
That's what
is he standing then as in ADC for Labour Party, or it's Nigerian politics,
yes,
but still.
That's what I'm explaining. When a party comes as a coalition, recall that what made APC tick, because when APC was formed, 2014 to 2015, ACN wrote to INEC and withdrew their party registration. Then a fraction of ABGA, which came with Rochas Okorocha, then AMPP or APP, whose their chairman then was the late former Minister of Technology, what's his name now, Oben Nayono, was a person who pioneered AMPP into the formation of the mega party APC. Then you also have some fractions of other political parties, including the Buhari CPC. All of them are no longer in the INEC register now. They deregistered them for them to collapse into APC. So in coalition is different. Coalition is that, you know that Nenadi Esther Usman now, who is the caretaker, recognizable chairperson of Labour Party, is also holding a prominent position in ADC. One of the people that are mobilizing for them and for the rewriting of the coalition constitution that we usher in their all collective ideas and aspirations. So that's why I'm telling you that to form a coalition is different from forming a political party.
Okay.
Though that coalition may only make use of the political party as a vehicle and leave it after the election for the owners.
Okay.
Who had just stepped aside and handed it over to them to use as a vehicle to drive to their destination. So what I'm trying to say here is this. Bode George have said a lot, but I'm not going to talk about what he said. But Bode George should know that the opposition are not doing well. Are they, PDP he's talking about, are they agreeing with ADC, who is a major opposition party in Nigeria, with the big wigs that are aligning with them? Then when he's talking about rigging of election, they know how to rig this election. All of them are politicians. They know. So let them match APC game to game, foot by foot. You know, watches by watches. If it is the Togre that wins election in Nigeria, let them also begin to gather their own. So that if Nigeria at the end of the day might become a theater of war. Because the only thing you're afraid of, hence Tinubu have about 30 governors and he's not still comfortable of winning the election. What are his fears? What are the fears of APC for trying to gag opposition political parties? He's talking about in the Electoral Act that they have removed the indirect primaries. I know that the 2022 Electoral Act made it explicit and left it in the hands of the political parties to choose whatever form of primary they want to conduct. Consensus, which was legitimized again by the 2022 Electoral Act by saying that if the whole aspirants write a letter to INEC indicating their interest to step down, that is when consensus candidate can emerge. That is why Tinubu is there now, because Tinubu was among those that refused APC to step down under Buhari for them to have a consensus candidate, which could have been Amechi or Oshibajo or Ahmed Lawan. Tinubu was not in the equation of the people that Buhari wanted to take over from him, and he knows it. But because he went into the field, by the virtue of that Electoral Act, where they said that every aspirant, for you to have a consensus, must write so that INEC will now acknowledge it. Then indirect primary is the one they constitute like electoral college that will pick the candidate. Then direct primary is where you have delegates who also benefit at the end of the day because they pay a lot of money. Those who will be giving fake dollars, those who will be giving fake kilo and fake pounds, and those who will also be giving the original ones will also get the bite of the cake. So, but now, this new amendment or the new electoral law is talking about consensus and direct. So let them make use of this and do what they call internal party democracy. Let it play out. Let's see it with these two. Let them, the indirect, let him forget about that one. It's not a problem. You have direct and you have consensus. Where we are expecting Atiku to write and say Obi go, or we say Obi will write and say Atiku go, I will support you. And maybe we say Atiku, oh yeah, step down. Let us step down for Obi, or let us step down for the. Let them make use of these two, provided as an opposition for them to have a common front. But if they cannot make use of these two, why are you crying for indirect, which in my view is neither here nor there? So whatever I wanted to say Paheju Clark, may God rest his soul, Bode George have said, he is a veteran in this game. Okay. He should have started from Benicio immediately after the 2023 general election. Call all the people who won election from the opposition and begin to educate them and conscientize them that Nigerians have put you here, do not defect, that the ruling party may lure you. I have a friend, somebody told him, they will come and bribe you, look at the money they will give you, but don't what? Relent. Don't relent. And they came to bribe the guy. The federal government came to bribe the guy refused. Because somebody has already educated him and said you have more prestige before Nigerians than when you collect money and you go into oblivion. So George made a very big political mistake from not conscientizing those people that have been elected under the platform of the oppositions. At the end of the day now he's crying foul. Whatever he's crying now cannot remedy anything. The only thing that remedies the 2023 general elections is for the opposition parties to put together, present a common candidate, and also that thing they know how they rig election. Let them begin to strategize on their own to meet APC on the field. At the end of the day, whatever Nigerians see on the field of election, we take it. When you come with your own army, my own army is there. When you come with your own talks, my own talks is there. That is the language that the Nigerian state understands. That's my submission.
Mr. Ugochukwu, it's always a pleasure because always learning something, and then your analysis are always, direct and on point. Thank you very much for joining me today on Open Air.
Thank you, Asabel, and I congratulate you once again on your new position. Thank you, Nigerians, and happy Sunday.
All right, thank you very much. This is where we wrap it up on this episode of Open Air. We are open for sponsorship of the program, advert placements, news, events coverage, and commercials. Watch us live on our website, www.atlanticnetwork.tv, on Facebook and YouTube at Atlantic Television Network, Avo TV platform, Niger TV, Ifastech TV platform. You can also connect with us on our ATN socials by subscribing, like, and share. Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, and on X, Atlantic TV Net. Always remember that peace and unity are the pathways to progress. Thank you very much for watching. I am Antonia Asabil.
The board, management, and staff of Morrison Media Group presents the 2026 Anniversary Celebration Lecture of Morrison Media Group. Theme: Media's role in shaping social change, addressing inequities, and empowering voices. Chairman Alex Ndudi Enebele, FSM, President, Institute of Strategic Management of Nigeria, Chartered. Keynote speaker, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, Professor of Media and Broadcasting Communication. Panelist, Professor Chris Ochonogo, Immediate Past Head of Department, Journalism and Media Studies, University of Port Harcourt. Dr. Ijoma Tobosia, Secretary, NUJ, River State. Dr. Sarah Joe, University Orator and Associate Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media, River State University, Port Harcourt. Dr. Ibiere Koki, Ignatius Aju University of Education, Rumolomini, Port Harcourt. Chief Host, Dr. Chinyere Igwe, Esquire, Chairman, Morrison Group. Date: Tuesday, 10th March 2026. Venue: Gate Place Hotel, Kilometer 5, East West Road, adjacent Obirikwere Flyover, Rumosi, Port Harcourt. Time: 10 a.m. For more information, please call Kainde Paul Obofade 081-063-41777 or Samuel Ajinwo at 090-454-00744. Signed, Management.
Representing people. Mr. President, my people are under siege.
I will place economic stability and confidence.
To condemn this act and call for the immediate release of this minister elected president.